Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Shri FC. I hope you people are all well and all good. I'm so happy to be back. First of all, a big apology to everyone because I've been live after a long time, but I had some work at home. Also had some other important work as well. So apologies people for coming live after so much time. So I hope you understand and please do hit the like button, subscribe button, and please support the channel people. So starting on with the first news today, people. And first of all, I'm going to give my opinion on the Southampton match in a more calmer way. Now it's time to dissect what went wrong, why it went wrong, and what was the reason we lost to Southampton. We lost to Southampton, people, 2-1 yesterday in an humiliating loss away at St. Mary. It's a stadium, people, we have always liked to travel, a stadium we've always done well. It's a stadium, people, that is a rarity. Chelsea only score one goal. In the last 5 to 6 games, we have won mostly all of them bar a draw, and we have always been good at the ground. But this Chelsea team is a record breaker. They always cause themselves massive problem. And sorry, people, it's an absolute shame what this team has done. I'm so disappointed, people. And big up to Sambhav as well in the chat. Thank you so much, brother, to join the chat. And overall, people, Chelsea have some massive asset problem. And starting off with the first part today, and this is about the lineup. Now let's dissect the lineup that Chelsea played in this match. And Chelsea went with Mendy as a goalkeeper. Then Chelsea had Aspilicueta, Silva, Koulibaly, and then we had Loftus Cheek, Jorginho, Mount, Ziyech, Howard, Sterling, and Cucurella. Now you all will be thinking, what is the shape Chelsea played? So the shape Chelsea played was a 4-3-3, where you had Aspilicueta playing as a right back, you had Cucurella playing as a left front, Thiago Silva, Koulibaly in the middle, then you had Jorginho, Loftus Cheek, and Mount in the midfield, and then Hakim Ziyech, Sterling, and Havertz as the front three. So Chelsea went with a 4-3-3, and people have been shouting about, let's play a back four. Back four is going to be the solution. We are not good attackingly. We need to play back four. What happened? We played back four. We went away from 3 at the back, and we were absolutely destroyed on the counter. We were very lucky that this does not end 4-1, 5-1 because we were that lucky. Cucurella block, Thiago Silva block on the line. This could have been a very, very bad scoreline, people, if Southampton has some finishing boots. So first of all, dissecting the match and starting with the points that I want to talk about today. We'll have a talk on the Chelsea attack. We'll also talk about Kai Havertz. We'll also talk about Pulisic not interested to play for the club. Also talking about Mason Mount struggling so far. And then the problem of set-piece defending, where Anthony Barrow is known as one of the best coaches right now, but is absolutely going to disaster. And is Thomas Tuchel people to blame for what's happening so far? So on Chelsea attack, I will only say one thing is I have no words. I don't even know whether I want to blame the manager, whether I want to blame the players. I just don't know what's going on. I will say one thing. Yes, Thomas Tuchel can do better with some of these attackers. Yes, he can, because these attackers still can try to get the best out of them, still play in them in a way where it can get some results out of their hand. But people, Thomas Tuchel already has shown a lot of adjustments. He is a manager who at Dortmund, PSG played back four, but to protect Jorginho, a 38-year-old Thiago Silva, because as much as Thiago Silva is one of the best defenders in the world, he's not a great defender in a back four. So to protect him, we play 3 at the back, which gives Chilwell, James, Cucurella more freedom to attack. So he had to sacrifice attacking duties to protect us defensively, because Jorginho is not your natural CDM, and you have to protect him with the extra centre back, or you will be absolutely exposed. And this is why, people, you cannot blame Thomas Tuchel. The attack has always been a problem. So first topic today, post-match thoughts and what went wrong. So people, post-match thoughts are very, very simple. This was a match we started well. We started with a great intensity. We played with a great intensity in the first some minutes. We should have been 2-3-0 up the way we started the game. Raheem Sterling started the game well, should have finished it off, but straight away went to the keeper. Then Raheem scored a beautiful goal. It was a well-built goal. Kai Havertz making a good pass. Mason Mount making a good assist. And Sterling being aware of his surrounding and slotting into the net. This is why we brought Sterling to be in the situations to score goals for us, which our other wingers are incapable of. So good, we got the lead. Kai Havertz had the chance to make it 2-0, and match would have been dead and buried. We should have led 2-0, but Kai Havertz for some reason hit it straight at the goalkeeper. I don't know why or what he was doing. And people, we are our own biggest enemy. We can really finish all the games off. We should have beaten Tottenham Hotspur 3-0, 4-0. But what happened? We did not take our chances, and then Tottenham buried us apart. In the first game against Everton, again, we had some chances. We did not capitalize on them. Against Leeds, until Leeds United scored a goal, again, has always Chelsea did not capitalize on the chances. It's a big concern, people, the way Chelsea are playing. I'm being absolutely honest with you. And once Southampton scored, mentality went away. The whole desire went away. It was like everything is over. I saw Manchester United, even in the worst times, come back from 2-0 down. I've seen Arsenal under Mikel Arteta, when they go 1-0 down, they at least try a response. I've even seen teams at the bottom, when they go 1-0 down, they at least try to create some chances. And our players, when they go 1-0 down, they lose their passion, they lose their desire, and they lose absolutely everything. You tell me we are 1-0 down, 1-1 is 1-1, it's not even down. It was 1-1, and the players put their heads down. At halftime, it was Southampton 2, Chelsea 1. We still had 45 minutes against one of the worst teams in the league to come back, and behold the mentality in the dressing room. They came out and Southampton dominated the game. They could not even create one proper chance, people. One proper chance. It's an absolute embarrassment the way some of these players play. These players on the day can beat anyone. Manchester City, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Real Madrid. But when it comes to all the days, they're just not consistent. And people blame Tuchel, blame the ability of the players. But the biggest thing we must blame is the personalities they've got and the mentalities they've got. Because they have got a mentality to step on the big occasions, but they cannot step up for the Premier League games against lower teams. And there's a question for Samba here, and I believe regarding attack is 50-50 blame. In your attack, there's winger on edge of the box who crosses only 2 places in 6-yard box, and a wing back and centre back on edge. Sir, I can agree with one of these things. I do agree what you're going on, but I want to ask your honest opinion in the chat. Do you really trust Hakim Ziyech, Christian Pulisic, Kai Havertz, and Mason Mount to produce big numbers? Mason Mount has still done well last year, so I'm putting him out of it. I will ask you also, Sambhav as well. Do you really trust Kai Havertz to be that player that you want in your team? Please be absolutely honest. That will you prefer Havertz, Ziyech, and Pulisic? Do you really think that these are the players that are attacking at the level of Son, Kane, Kulusevski? Now, Antonio Conte is not one of the most attacking managers in the league, but his team still scores a lot of goals. Antonio Conte is more defensive than Thomas Tuchel. Why his team can score more goals, but Chelsea cannot do anything? Because the quality of attackers we have got, they are absolutely abysmal. I'm being very honest here. And Chelsea players' conversion rate is not good. You had various 1v1, but Sterling went straight, Havertz missed header, and other chances as well. For Havertz, I have no word, people. For Kai Havertz, I have literally ran out of words. Sterling, I already knew when he was signed that Sterling is going to be a very frustrating finisher for all of us to witness. He's a very good player. He's a player who can do good things, but Raheem Sterling's finishing has always been a problem. And I was always aware when we signed him that his finishing was always going to be a problem. But just look at other aspects that Sterling brings to the team. He is still the best dribbler in the team. He's still a player who dribbles the best in the team. And he's still a player that creates the most chances. The problem is players like Kai Havertz, who are resting on the Champions League glory. Players like, you can say, Hakim Ziyech, who are one-trick pony. Players like Pulisic, who are not interested to play for the club. And so on you go towards the team. It's an absolute shame, people, the team we have got right now. We have no combination. We have no understanding. And Ayush Bhai in the chat. Bigger to Ayush Bhai. And Bhai, I think that Chelsea will easily beat Southampton in the bad time. Also, I don't watch that match live. But in the morning, I was so sick after watching the highlights of that match. That was bad. That was Ayush Bhai. Very bad. Why is it confirmed that Anthony is wearing number 11? I think so. I'm not fully sure. I will check it on the internet and see what happens on. But I'm not sure about that. And people, the guest will also come to the show as well. I'll just bring him in a second. And just a second, people. So big up to Bilal Bhai as well. How are you doing, Bilal Bhai?
Hello. Fine. How are you?
I'm absolutely good, Bilal Bhai. So people, please, before I go to Bilal Bhai and ask his opinions, please, because it was so urgent on the notice, I was not able to add his name in the channel. But please, you can see the name on the screen as well. I'll just show you here. It's RMA and MUF Extra. Ultras. Please go and subscribe to his channel. I'll put the link in the description just after the video ends. So Bilal Bhai, we were talking about Chelsea and the match against Southampton. Bilal Bhai, what's your opinion? Because you're a neutral fan, people. He's a Manchester United fan. So Bilal Bhai, in your opinion, what went wrong for Chelsea and why did they struggle so much after conceding the goal?
First of all, I was seeing your stream, and you were very much frustrated, and you should be. It's like my situation when Manchester United were thrashed against Brentford, where Manchester United were thrashed against Brighton. definitely we should be. When the team doesn't do good, and definitely Chelsea for me, how Simon are they playing? I'm literally out of words. Uh, First of all, I'll come to the main point. The finishing touch you need in your team is not there. And why Tuchel is so much like he's so rigid, so strict that he doesn't wants to bring in players. You are just Chelsea are doing everything possible to get their defenders. Your backline is too much strong. I think that Wesley Fofana has come, Koulibaly has come. You have Thiago Silva, Cesar Azpilicueta. Everyone you have got, and in the attack you have got no one. You are dependent on Kai Havertz. What can I say about that man? He was so good. The only player which I definitely loved in the team in the team of Chelsea was Kai Havertz. But what can I say about him? He's nowhere near his best. 5 goals without an assist or a goal of him and Mason Mount. I was reading a stat. So what is he doing, Kai Havertz? What is he doing? I'm literally out of words for him. Kai Havertz is not a finisher that Thomas Tuchel needs in his team. And I think that it's a mistake of Thomas Tuchel as well. Why is he not changing his formation?
I think
I don't think so.
so
Mhm.
sorry, Bilal, to cut you. I think as Sambhav has said here, we are going for Guardiola. I think, in my opinion, Sambhav, I think it's a very, very smart signing because as much as it's a future signing, I think next year teams like big teams like even United or some other teams will come to sign him. So sometimes it's important to get the player you need. I think Chelsea are building for the future as well. This is a good sign because I think Guardiola, Fofana, you can say in terms of Cucurella, I think Chelsea are building a future line where they know that. See, I think people, let's be brutally honest. I'm being very honest with you. We all know that Koulibaly, we all know Thiago Silva are a short-term solution. Chelsea do need to look long-term, and people, long-term, the only answer is going for young players. And Chelsea are building a great, great backline in Fofana and Guardiola and then Cucurella. So I'm very happy with this signing, and I think the payment structure will go to next year as well. So I don't think that's a big problem until, sadly, God forsake, injury doesn't happen. Please, God, it doesn't happen as well. So now, Bilal, by coming to you on Kai Havertz, and I think that's the next discussion. Just a second. Yes, I think I have some questions here on Kai Havertz. That first of all, I'll just give my opinion and then go to Bilal Bhai as well. So, should he be dropped? Is he a striker? Can we make his 72 million worth? And what's ahead? Tuchel needs to update his tactics and his choice for players. You should go for a player with striking instinct rather than that going for rather than going for creators and defenders. I somewhat agree, but also somewhat disagree. I think he's not about updating his tactic. He's a manager who is always in his Dortmund days. He has played back four. He updated his tactics to win this side of Champions League. Because again, I'll reiterate, Chelsea have Jorginho, who is not a proper CDM. Chelsea have two 30-year-old defenders playing at the back. We cannot even dream of playing a back four. And as much as people can think that he can make them play well, but people, if Pulisic goes to United, Pulisic will even frustrate you. Havertz will even frustrate United fans. You can say even Hakim Ziyech will frustrate United fans. We have to agree that Chelsea attackers are just not good enough. And Hakim Ziyech was a Frank Lampard signing. Kai Havertz was a Frank Lampard signing. Mason Mount was everyone's favorite. So I think that you can put on Tuchel. You go to a left side. Sterling is his only signing. So I think putting blame on him right now when he's not been able to build a squad, I think that would be too much in my opinion. So giving my opinion on this topic, people, should Kai Havertz be dropped? Absolutely, he should be dropped. I think Chelsea need to show these players that this team is not just being complacent. I think since Werner has gone, Chelsea has still no striker available. I think Kai Havertz got a free hand. I can go there and play anything I want. I make the most all-field runs, so I can play forever. I think people, that is not the right thing, and Chelsea have to make a statement and drop him out of the team. Is he a striker? No. He's a cam. He's a player who needs to play 4-2-3-1. And Bilal bhai, you can put on mute. आपकी शायद पीछे से ना आवाज आ रही है Bilal bhai, a bit. Yeah, absolutely. So, is he a striker? I don't think so, people. He's more like a cam. He's a person who plays in the cam position. He's a person who is made for 4-2-3-1 formation, my humble opinion. But Chelsea cannot play 4-2-3-1 with Jorginho Kovacic being at the base of it. And then, for me, can we make it 72 million worth? It depends on Kai Havertz. Now, people, being very, very honest, I still trust Kai Havertz. I still like Kai Havertz, and I'm not of the brigade. Oh, sell him out of the club. No, I still trust him. But it doesn't mean that I trust him that he has to play every game, and that is where he's wrong. And here, Sambhav has got a good point here. I do agree with this. He's got decent stats for 22-23-year-old. But I think in my humble opinion, Sambhav, you have to see the other players who are producing the same stats. You see Gabriel Jesus at a young age producing the stats. You even saw Marcus Rashford at a particular time in young age produce stats. And I think sometimes we have to put the young age barrier aside. And this is Kai Havertz's third year in the Premier League. Kai Havertz has already had 2 years in the Premier League. So his settling time is over. And problem with Kai Havertz is he scores 6-7 goals a season and that's it. So this is why I think he has to improve. Now about 72 million price tag. See, we cannot compare in many terms. He won as a Champions League. He's still a young guy who can be sold for 120, 150 million. So I think the money part is very tough to measure. But I think Kai Havertz has to improve. And what's ahead? I think Broha has to start over him now, and he must be shown that Chelsea is a place where you can be dropped. So now coming to Bilal Bhai. Bilal Bhai, on your opinion on Kai Havertz, just asking you a question, Bilal Bhai, and also you're a United fan, so I'm asking you two questions. First, Bilal Bhai, I want to ask you about that should Kai Havertz be dropped? And the second question I want to ask you, Bilal Bhai, is regarding this chat that okay. I'm so sorry, Sambhav. I misread a chat. That Sambhav is asking Chelsea to go for Gakpo. So do you think Gakpo can be a good signing for Chelsea? So please answer these two questions, Bilal Bhai.
First of all, for Kai Havertz, definitely I want him to be dropped because he was missing setters. He was missing. I just opened the game. I messaged you, and then just I opened the game in the second half, and I saw Kai Havertz just heading the ball out. What was he doing? That was one of the most important chances of the game. If it would have been Lukaku, if it would have been Werner, even he might have finished the goal. He might have finished that. But Kai Havertz just thrashed it away. But definitely, I think that Kai Havertz should be dropped because he's being too complacent over here. He thinks that there is no striker available in this team, so I'll be the definite starter. And I've won them the Champions League. I've scored the clutch goal in the Champions League. They'll give me that respect every time, but not everyone gives you respect every time. There are fans of Chelsea who aren't like you, who aren't supporting Kai Havertz. There are fans who are disrespecting him even though he has scored a UCL winner, even though he has done so much in his 3 years career in Premier League in Chelsea. But definitely not everyone will be there to support you. So definitely he'll need to up his standards if he wants to play. And definitely as a United fan as well, you said the same thing. He'll frustrate us as well if he would have been in our team. United fans, might have he would have been disrespected a lot if he would have been in United. So definitely Kai Havertz should be dropped from this team. And on Gakpo is a good player. Yes, he can fit into the system of Tuchel as well. He's young, he's agile, he's versatile as well. He can play on the wings as well. I guess as a second striker as well. I've not seen his game as much, but according to the stats which I've read, because he was linked to Manchester United as well. So I just read his stats. So he's brilliant, and he's in PSV Eindhoven, and he's playing brilliant. If he comes to Chelsea, he would be a great signing for me. But I don't think so. There's too much time left for Chelsea to just go for him. And I'm thinking that in the 3 months, Tuchel will analyze the situation. If he needs a striker, then they might go in January because of the World Cup as well. World Cup will be done, and there might be some star players emerging out from that World Cup as well. So you keep an eye on that as well, and we might see Gakpo coming in January or in the next season as well.
So thank you, Bilal Bhai, and people, please who are watching the stream, do like so more people can join in. Please subscribe to the channel and please subscribe to the panel's channel RNA and MUFC Ultras. It will be later updated in the description, but it's easy to remember. He's a United fan, so please support him and let's make a community even bigger. So Gaurav bhai in the chat, Shrey, your team striker hai, bas try hi kar sakte hai Havertz ya number 10. I think Havertz is not a striker, being very honest, Gaurav bhai. And big up to Gaurav bhai as well. He's not a striker, and I think he's being played at a wrong position. But what option does Tuchel have? If we have to play a 4-2-3-1, then Tuchel will have to shift to a formation of 4-2-3-1, which means Jorginho and Kovacic will have to play in the two. We'll be destroyed on transition. We'll be eaten alive. Absolutely eaten alive like we were done under Frank Lampard. We'll be eaten alive. People have to understand that this manager has come in here. He has literally solidified us. People forget the good times. It's just about Chelsea. Oh, the time is bad. Tuchel out. That's what we are. We are spoiled. Roman Abramovich is gone. Grow up. Roman Abramovich is gone. Grow up. The sacking culture has to change. This is why we are in this position. Because we sack after sack after sack after sack after sack. We are not improving. We have to change as a club people. The problem is our squad is not even made in a proper way. How can a manager even make this squad play in a good way? This manager came in last year till December. This manager in his first 50 Chelsea games had 31 clean sheets. You're joking me that this guy is not good enough for Chelsea. 31 clean sheets in 50 games. Just tell me who manager in the world can do that. He made Jorginho reach third in the Ballon d'Or. He made Chelsea defense be one of the best in the world. He literally made some of these players play above their level. But still, this is an average squad. You cannot make everything out of it. People have to understand that he is a manager who in the previous club played a back four. But to protect Jorginho, who is a good regista, but he's not a proper DM, he has to play a back three. We have two 30-year-olds at the back. We have Cesar Azpilicueta. People saw in the last match that Cesar Azpilicueta is not at the level we must be. I love Cesar, and Cesar is still a big part of this team. But Cesar is not a right wing back. He does not have the pace to be a right wing back. I think Bilal Bhai also absolutely said right. Chelsea width was gone. Reece James was not there, and we had not even one outlet. And then you've got inconsistent young players like Kai Havertz, who I trust, but they are going to take time to develop. And this is where the problem is with Chelsea. And putting everything on the manager is impossible. Manager can't
Just
come
one
there.
thing to add. One thing to
Yeah.
add. I'll need to add one thing that there are fans. Why are there fans who just ask the managers to be sacked? Who just there are fans in the Manchester United fan base as well, in Real Madrid fan base as well. Why are these fans so toxic? Just wait for a moment. You don't remember the glory times which Thomas Tuchel made you remember. Remember those times. You won the UCL. You won the Super Cup. You were on the verge of as well everything. You were winning.
I
You were
think
in the
Bilal
glory
bhai, on
times.
this only Bilal bhai, the problem is in today's time in social media, agendas will always be bigger than the simple thinking. I think any fan, I'm not just saying Chelsea, United, agendas are bigger. Someone who will dislike Tuchel will want it to happen. Now, many people are coming out of their caves. Oh, you sacked Tammy Abraham. Like Tammy Abraham was going to make us way better. I love Tammy Abraham and I love him, and Tuchel mistreated him. But Tammy Abraham is not a Robert Lewandowski. Get that facts right. He is not a Robert Lewandowski. And people keep talking about Romelu Lukaku, a big failure. Who knows that Romelu Lukaku was his signing or a Marina signing? He told them that he needs Haaland. But the board said, oh, but we cannot play Raul as payment. So he said, give me someone. And nobody in their life can think that this person will go in the interview and say, I want to play for Real Madrid, Bayern Munich. Nobody can anticipate that. Please back the manager, people. Please get some sense. Back the manager. You criticize him constructively. You can say that manager can play this system. I think it's wrong. Like here, Sambhav has put it very well, that a manager might be trying to play tactics which are outdated, which are understandable. Criticize the manager constructively, but manager out, grow up. The club will get finished like this. And do not even tell me anyone that you think, oh, Graham Potter to replace Thomas Tuchel. Graham Potter will go to Real and get hammered. This manager is one of the most proven managers in the world, and please have some respect. Taking some chance, people here, because I went on a big rant, which I really do. Harvard should be dropped. Mount should be rested for a week or two. We'll have a strong defense against West Ham. Things will be a lot better with Fofana. I think one thing I'm very certain is once Fofana is here, I think we'll be defensively more stronger. But again, the problem rests. Kante is never fit. Kovacic is never fit. Chelsea's midfield is an absolute disaster. Taking more chats here and Football Creeks here. People do subscribe to Football Creeks, a great channel, a Manchester City fan. Haaland and Alvarez and Foden starting. I wanted to see them play. Big up to you as well. I think that's, you get to see Haaland, Alvarez, Foden. We get to see Mount, Sterling, Havertz. I think that's a massive difference. But by the way, I love Mount, Havertz and Sterling. But just see the difference in quality City and Chelsea have. And we aspire to compete with them. And out and out number 9, Kai koi nahi hai. Absolutely. Kai is not a striker. And I think a question hai, will Chelsea go for Ronaldo as Oba move is off? No. Oba move is not off. People, Aubameyang move is not off. It's just that, first of all, I will just say one thing before we talk about Aubameyang. I wish his family is fine. I wish he's fine. Whatever happened, people, was absolutely wrong. I have nothing but respect for him. It's so sad. I'm seeing some pathetic Chelsea fans, and I call them out, not by names, but pathetic Chelsea fans who were going in the tweets where Aubameyang put their things and were blaming Barcelona fans. Have some shame. Have some bloody shame, you fools. This guy got burgled at home. He got injured. Have some shame. Try to make a story or trying to insult Barca fans for that. My thoughts are with Aubameyang and his family. And before the transfer, I hope everything gets fine. But Football Creeks, the report has just come out that Chelsea have asked for medical reports from Barca and they are fine. He will be just out for 3 or 4 weeks and nothing max. So Chelsea are still trying to go for Oba, but it's about both clubs coming to an agreement. And Prashant ji agreeing with me as well that Oba move is not off. And its rivals, fans who asked to sack Tuchel, no Chelsea. I think Prashant bhai, yesterday there was a Chelsea fan named Rory Jennings. He put a video out, Tuchel out. I think, and CFC, I will not name because I think that could be a bit wrong. But there's a big Chelsea account who tweets regular news who said Tuchel is living off the 2012 hype and he's like a Roberto Di Matteo. A lot of Prashant bhai, a lot of Chelsea fans at Twitter are asking for Tuchel to be sacked.
Yes, yes,
And
I saw the tweets. I was extremely amazed. How can they ask about that?
now I'm
How
coming
can
to Bilal Bhai. Now I'm coming to Bilal Bhai. Bilal Bhai, we have been known at. Oh, I think this could be reliable. Oba move is off. Managing Barca tweeted Chelsea take off the offer. Okay, okay. So now coming on to this one on Bilal Bhai. Bilal Bhai, you know your people in the chat. Bilal Bhai is a Manchester United fan. So Bilal Bhai, please let us know what do you think of Ronaldo move because Tuchel is the one who's refusing this move to happen. So do you see Ronaldo being a great signing for Chelsea and do you want him to go to a rival or is better to not sell to a rival?
If he wants to go, he should go. I'll definitely want him to go. If he wants to go, because uh, although I'm a Ronaldo fan as well, Ronaldo fan as well as a Messi fan. Okay, no worries, no disrespect to anyone, but the club comes first, then the player. And if the player is creating kind of a bit of misunderstanding, there is a bit of misunderstanding. He wants to play the Champions League. He wants to do achieve something. So definitely, if he wants to go to Chelsea, he should go. But to a club like Chelsea, there are two kinds of thoughts which I'm contradicting in my mind as well. Whether he should go, whether he should not go. He should go because if he wants to win the Champions League, Chelsea at this point are not looking stronger enough to win the Champions League. But we know cup competitions, Chelsea are brilliant, and he can win something as well in there in Chelsea FA Cup. There is a bit of kind of like an uncertain situation in Chelsea right now, but it will pass with the passage of time. So Ronaldo might win anything over there. He might win the FA Cup. He might win the Community Shield over there. So there is something to add into Ronaldo's trophy cabinet, which he wants to fill it if he wants to, because he wants to succeed in his last years. So for Chelsea, it would be a good deal. He'll score, definitely. He'll score 20 to 25 goals in these months. Although 1 month has passed of the Premier League, four game days have been played.
I think Bilal Bhai has for some seconds hang, so I'll let him come back. And people now talking about going to the next discussion here, and I think Bilal Bhai is back now. So Bilal Bhai on Ronaldo, on the final part, I want to ask you. I think you're available now, fully visible. So Bilal Bhai, on your opinion, if I have to ask you on just simple terms, do you think Ronaldo move is good for Chelsea or not?
It's pretty good for Chelsea because he'll guarantee you 20 to 25 goals every in the season. Even though he'll turn 38 years old in this season as well, but he'll score you Reece James.
And I think I just said Bilal Bhai Airways here. So people now moving on to the next part, taking some questions here. And the next question I'm taking off is Rory Jennings is very conclusive of all things. He speaks things first, things later. I think I'm very frustrated with him, but I think I don't want to go on another creator here. And on what basis he almost won the title if it wasn't for injuries? UCL, Club World Cup. It's just bad times as a rival. You have to be patient with your manager. Bilal can understand United gave Ole 3 years. I think this is the thing. Chelsea fans are just not patient. We are so spoiled football freaks. We just want every manager sacked, and that's a massive problem. Klopp was given 4 years exactly. Klopp till now has won a Champions League, a Club World Cup. He has also won, you can say, more like a Premier League, and along with a Carabao Cup and FA Cup, and that's it. It's not like Klopp has got a big trophy cabinet, but he still gets back. He still gets back by the fans. But Chelsea fans want a manager sack at the first moment a difficulty arrives. Todd said he minimum needs top four from this season. Yes, I think top four is minimum. I think top four is minimum, Prashantji, and I do think he'll get that. Now, people talking a bit about here on should Mendy be dropped? Because people, Edward Mendy performance has declined for a massive, massive time now, people. And it's an absolute shame, people. I love him to bits. First of all, he's one of my favorite players in the Chelsea dressing room. He's a leader. He's a good person. He gives his all on the pitch. But Edward Mendy, people, for some time has been really, really bad. First of all, he made an error against Leeds United, which got them the lead, and then the match went badly. In the last match against Southampton, it should have been saved. Please, people, let's be brutally honest. That chance should have been saved. It should have been Southampton nil, Chelsea 1. It's absolutely sad, people. Edward Mendy should be saving that, people. And I'm very, very disappointed in Edward Mendy, people. And he should be dropped, in my opinion, to just show him that you should not be complacent. And this is Chelsea Football Club, not a championship team or a team where you are the number one and you know competition. With no disrespect intended for anyone below Chelsea level. Please, I'm not like that person. I love every football club. So, on Bilal Bhai, on your opinion, just a quick opinion before we go to the next chat, because we have a lot of news to cover up as well. So, Bilal Bhai, do you think Edward Mendy should be dropped? And do you think that he should have saved the first goal of Southampton?
He should be dropped. He should be definitely dropped because although you have Kappa, you have that new guy as well. I don't remember his name, Gabriel
No, he's
Solina.
loaned.
He's loaned. Okay. He's loaned. So you have Kappa. Although people would disagree with me that Kappa is not that level of Mendy. He's vulnerable, kind of that and that. But definitely at this point of time when Mendy is not doing good, you should definitely replace him with another like to like goalkeeper. He's good as well. Kappa is good as well. Why have you kept him in your team? He should start. If Mendy is not doing good, then Kappa should definitely start.
And absolutely, thank you so much, Bilal Bhai. I think we are absolutely agree with each other, and I hope the chat is also agreeing, and Prashant Bhai also agreeing with this as well. Kepa deserves a chance, but I guess he's even worse in training. I don't think it's about training, Prashantji. I think it's more about Tuchel not wanting to really get in the bad side of the senior players. I think that's the more reason, and I think in that opinion as well. And just sorry for the echo sound, people. That can happen a bit, so apologies for that as well. And going on the next part, people, and the next part, people, is about Mason Mount and what's happening with Mason Mount. I think this is where Bilal Bhai also talked about Mason Mount, and now he shouldn't be dropped. Although Chirag Bhai, big up to Chirag Bhai as well. People do subscribe to his channel, Football Medico, a great channel, and now he shouldn't be dropped. Although I love Kepa myself for his distribution, but Mendy is a better shot stopper. But trust me, by the season end, Mendy will lose his place. Absolutely agree, Chirag Bhai. And for me, Chirag Bhai, I'm not even saying him drop for just a long time. Just one game to show him that the manager can really show him authority if he's playing with some level of complacency. Now, people going on Mason Mount and what the heck is happening with this guy who I love to absolute bits. He's been one of the best players from last season to this season. But people, Mason Mount has been disappointing all of us this season. I love him to bits. Should he be dropped? I think to just show him a bit of thing that Mason, no one is indispensable at Chelsea. He should be dropped. But my only question is, who will come and replace him? Christian Pulisic, who cannot give a damn about the shirt. Hakim Ziyech, who is flirting with Ajax. Callum Hudson-Odoi, who is on loan to Bayer Leverkusen. Who won? So now going on Bilal Bhai. Bilal Bhai, do you think he should be dropped? And taking some question. Cup games will come for Capital start. Absolutely agree, Chirag Bhai, in my opinion. But I do say one thing, that as much as I do want to see him in cup games, I think just for one game to show Mendy the place that Mendy, you can be dropped as well. This is why I think I want him to be dropped. And Lampard Kalonda needs rest. He should be off for a week or two. I think you cannot even say he's a Lampard Kalonda, because even Tuchel loves him to bits. Even Maurizio Sarri said that if Mason Mount was available, I would have absolutely had him in the team. I think Mason Mount is absolutely loved by mostly all the managers. And I think you just have to admire that how good this guy is. And agreed, Mason should be dropped for Gallagher. Yes, I think this is the thing. Thank you, Chirag Bhai. This is the thing I've been telling you, people. Conor Gallagher is not a pivot player, but Conor Gallagher can be what he did at Palace for us in the front three. He's a direct replacement for Mount, but I think Thomas Tuchel tweets Conor Gallagher has a Kante replacement. So now going to Bilal Bhai. Bilal Bhai asking you two questions. First, should Mount be dropped or not? And second, Tuchel tweeting Conor Gallagher has the next Kante. Is it right or wrong judgment?
I'll agree with Chirag Bhai because Mason, we know Conor Gallagher does pretty well in the final third. He possesses that quality which needs to be right of the winger. So definitely, but I don't think so. Mason Mount should be dropped, considering the fact that there is a patch for every player. Every player has a patch which continues for up to 3 to 4 games, and he has got that as well. So Chelsea fans should trust him. and definitely he's their wonder boy. If I should say, he's their wonder boy, and definitely they should trust him. And Mason Mount should not be dropped, and I definitely think he'll be in after 1 or 2 games, and he'll find his form, he'll find his momentum. Once he finds his momentum, he'll be doing awesome. He'll be doing wonders as well yet again. And Conor Gallagher, I said that Conor Gallagher should not be treated as a Kante replacement. He's not that kind of a guy. He loves to go ahead. He loves to just play those balls and everything. He loves to go forward. So definitely, why treating him I think that Tuchel might be overthinking a lot in the case. In some cases as well, he's overthinking. Where Havertz is not a striker, he's playing him as a striker, as a sole striker. There are some positions. I don't think so. I'll ask from you as well this question, that why should you play Reece James as a right centre back if he's a very good right wing back? So why do you play him as a right centre back? So I think that Tuchel might be. I should ask question from him, because I don't think so. Okay, he's a bit overthinking, and in the situation of Conor Gallagher as well. And I want you to ask my question as the answer my question as well.
Thank you, Bilal bhai. And Bilal bhai, in my humble opinion, what I do think is that why Thomas Tuchel is going with more like a right wing back option, why he's shifting Reece James to the right centre back option. I think I will say just one thing. First of all, it's just about tactic as well in some games, because Reece James is a big man. He can defend the place. He's very strong physically, has pacey, so he can take on some of the strikers, which sometimes the manager is afraid about. Thiago Silva, Koulibaly, against the pace of the other opposition. The number second part is Chelsea not having enough centre backs, and that's another problem. And I think when Fofana comes in, I do see Reece James going back to his regular position, that is the right wing back. So now, people, quickly going on the next question, because we have a lot of things to cover, and this is now about the golden boy, Christian Pulisic. So first of all, my humble opinion, I love Christian Pulisic. I think Christian Pulisic is being mistreated by Tuchel. He should be given more game time. He should be given more time to play. He's a good player, and I think he should be given at least 5 or 6 match regular run to prove himself. But that also doesn't mean that it takes away me from the Pulisic inconsistency, his injury problems, and all the other stuff as well, which makes the manager do not trust him. Going to Bilal Bhai here. Bilal Bhai, quickly just let me know here. Do you see Pulisic being a part of Chelsea for the future, or do you see him leaving in the near part as well?
I see him in the leaving in the near part, because I don't think so Tuchel trusts him as much, and he might be not trusting him, and definitely I'm seeing him leave the Chelsea this season.
This season, though, it's been ruled
नहीं नहीं
out.
सॉरी,
So
वही जो मतलब आने
next
वाला जो
season.
ये जो सीजन चल
Okay,
रहा है.
okay. So Bilal Bhai is also in opinion that he might just leave next season, people. So now going on, Jorginho and Chelsea needing a midfielder. People, for me, in my humble opinion, first, I love Jorginho. I don't think Jorginho is the problem. I think he's an easy target for the fan base. But that also doesn't mean that Jorginho is a proper CDM. Jorginho is a regista who needs a proper protection to play with him. Either it has to be N'Golo Kante or it has to be a back three. You saw Jorginho play his best football when Chelsea went to the Champions League run, because Kante was fit, Kante was playing his best football, and you had the back three of Silva and Res Christensen, and you had a player like Aspilicueta on his very good form, and this is why Jorginho was playing well. Jorginho is a proper system player, and there's nothing bad about that. He's a very good player who needs a particular system to thrive in. But the problem is, he's not a natural CDM. So people, Chelsea do need a midfielder, and they do need a DM. But also, we have injuries in Kante, who is injury prone. Kovacic is injury prone. Loftus Cheek is injury prone. So that means we are only left with one midfielder, Jorginho, and one, you can say, a person who is more like a front three in Conor Gallagher. So going on Bilal Bhai. Bilal Bhai, do you see Chelsea, first of all, taking a question here, just how bad we get as a team when we don't have Reece and Kante? Absolutely. Chelsea are the shadow of themselves, I think, whenever it goes bad. That's a very sad side. Whenever Reece and Kante are out, Chelsea are just finished as a side. So now going to Bilal Bhai here. And Bilal Bhai, just quickly asking our opinion here. Do you see Chelsea needing a midfielder, or is just too overstated in your opinion?
I'll definitely agree with the latter point. It's overstated in the media, because there are some players in every team which are over criticized a lot, and carry the burden of the whole team. So Jorginho for me is one of that kind of players. Jorginho although needs, as you said, protection around him and everything, but he's kind of a leader which Chelsea needs at the moment. and he's brilliant. I don't think so. Chelsea should go for another CDM or kind of players. You should go with your current team, and definitely it will help you in the near future.
So, absolutely agreed with you, Bilal, by here. Now, people are going to the next question here, and this is the next part of the part. And does Tuchel need to take some blame? So, in my opinion, people, constructively, yes. A manager is also responsible for some of the results side is getting. So, yes. But I'm not of the people, oh, Tuchel is wrong. Out. No, I love Tuchel. Tuchel is one of my favorite Chelsea managers. I love Tuchel to absolute bits. And if anyone is of opinion he should be sacked, please, people, you can unsubscribe, people. Please, you can just go and do not follow me on Twitter, people. I love Tuchel, and please, people, don't be Tuchel out. Please, Chelsea fans, for once, show some patience. Please, guys, for once, show some patience. I love Tuchel. Yes, he's to blame for some of the mistakes happen on the pitch. That's part and parcel of life. Jurgen Klopp struggle, Pep Guardiola struggle, every manager struggles. He needs to build his own squad. Pep has whole City squad in his own eye. You can say Jurgen Klopp has built a Liverpool side in his own way. A manager must be allowed, and this is a painful project. This is where I'm also going to Bilal Bhai and an advice for United fans watching the show. Then Manchester United will also go through results where Eric Ten Hag does some bad mistakes. You lose 4 or 5 nil. That's where a proper, you can say, patience of the fans will be shown. When a manager builds a side, people, you have to show some patience. And Chelsea fans are of short memory that they've forgotten we lost Rudiger, a spine of this team, Andres Christensen, a spine of this team. Marcus Alonso is leaving the club, who has been here for last 6 years. We also lost a lot of players in the middle as well, who were a spine of this team. And people, Kante is getting injured as well. Matic also left for a long time. Willian also left for a long time. Chelsea have lost their spine, and we are on a transition course now. Please, people, have some patience, or else it won't be a good ride for you. So Frankie de Jong comes in the next 24 hours, then we can see Conor scam. I think yes, that's where I think it'll be a very good deal. But I think at the moment, I think Prashantji, it looks very difficult to happen. And taking the opinion of a neutral in MUFC and RM Ultra, Bilal Bhai, what's your opinion on Tuchel, and does he have to take some blame?
Yeah, I said in the previous talks as well that Tuchel also needs to take some blame because he overthinks a lot. I told you the positions which he overthinks, and he plays the players with whom position are not that they're not able to play on that position kind of. Kai Havertz was some matches wonder, and now he's struggling. I don't agree with the Reece James as a centre back for him, and definitely Conor Gallagher playing as a pivot with Jorginho or somewhat. So I don't think so that and Tuchel should be blamed somewhat because Tuchel is too rigid. I think that there might be some kind of success if you can change a bit of formation. If you can change a bit of formation, there might be a success. I'm not saying that you should go to a back four. You should go into the attacking line and change a bit of kind of like the formations attacking wise, which might guarantee you some goals if there is not a number 9 in your team. Just look at how Pep Guardiola managed to play the whole season, the last season, without a number 9. So Tuchel also needs to think about that and definitely not be rigid on his decisions. And definitely, I'll agree with you in the matters of Eric Ten Hag. When we lost the two matches, the first two matches brutally against Brentford, we lost brutally against Brentford,
Mm-hmm.
and some fans were saying that Eric Ten Hag is not that kind of manager, hype manager, and he'll definitely turn out to be a Louis Van Gaal and kind of these managers. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, one season wonder, and then he'll not be. So I definitely want Chelsea fans, United fans to be patient, to be tolerant that your time will come as well. Pep Guardiola, Liverpool's time came, Manchester City's time came. Our
Mm-hmm.
time will also come. We'll have to wait. We know the last we had so many rivalries in the 2010s, in the 2012s. We had so many rivalries. So definitely that was our glorious time. It is their glorious time. We should wait for our glorious time to return, and definitely we should support our managers for what they are doing. They are doing for the team, for our club to succeed.
And Bilal Bhai, you have been absolutely spot on. And I think this is the thing we need to remember. We need to be calm with the manager. We need to allow him to build this project, or else there's no benefit to preach on social media that I want my club to be self-sustainable and then cry on for the manager to be sacked as well. So Gushan Bhai has a question here, people. And do you think Chelsea is lacking a proper centre forward like Timo Werner and Lukaku? Who I think I can't remember when Timo Werner carried us in a tough situation. I'm so sorry, Gushan Bhai, for that. And Romelu Lukaku is the one of the most sulkiest player who will do not give a damn of a team when things don't go his way. So it's good riddance that both of them are left. But I love Timo Werner. Timo Werner is a true professional who loved the club to bits, and he was a big player for Chelsea in the Champions League. But sadly, he wasn't made for the Premier League. For Lukaku Gulshan Bhai, I am absolutely so happy he has left. But Gulshan Bhai, your first part of the question is fully correct that Chelsea are lacking a centre forward, a forward who gives a damn about this team. We are lacking a proper striker, and we do need to get in the market. And my best choice for that is not even Ronaldo. I want Will fetch Zaha at this club. But will it happen? I really don't know. Because Ronaldo is 100 times a better player than Zaha, but the baggage he brings might just be too much, for in my opinion. Now people going to the next part, and now Chelsea Talks is back. Chelsea Talks are back now, and concentrating on Thomas Tuchel. And people, it's a time to cry. Hamstring injury on Ruben Loftus Cheek. Next midfielder out. No one left. Recommendation for Kovacic was 20 minutes. I also don't understand why we are in this situation regarding injuries. All players in midfield need to find solution. Sir Thomas Tuchel, I love you to absolute bits. You're one of my favorite Chelsea managers, sir. I love you. But the problem is you should not have made statements you made last week where you said Chelsea do not even need a midfielder. Number second, I will only say one thing, Sir Thomas Tuchel, that only thing with love and respect towards you, I will only say one thing. If you still think that Kante can play half of the season, you're only putting your own job in danger. Kante is only going to play 10% of the season. You should have known that at the start of the season, and you should have demanded Todd Boehly to sign a midfielder and not a striker. That is on you, and I do hope that Todd Boehly gives you a midfielder, whether a Frankie de Jong or whether even a Yuri Tielemans. Going to the next news here, and for that I'll take the opinion of Bilal Bhai, because that was more of an injury news. I think even more important, if key players are missing, that we need to show a different mentality. And this is where Bilal, I want to ask you, because you watched the Chelsea match, you have seen some size in the United under Mourinho. When you go 1-0 down, you still come back, win that game. Even under Mourinho, who used to, people call him dinosaur football, you used to be 2-0 down and still you used to win games. Why is Chelsea score, Bilal Bhai, when they go down or the score is equal, it's just Chelsea will never come back. I've not seen this with United. I've not seen this with Arsenal. I've not even seen this with Tottenham. I only see this with Chelsea. Why, Bilal Bhai, as a neutral, Chelsea are happening like this?
I see the games. I see the games of Chelsea, and I see that the mentality is missing. You do not have that kind of players that lead to that comeback kind of situation. You can now see how City are behaving after after they got thrashed by Madrid in the UCL. How are they getting comebacks? They managed to draw the game against Newcastle. They managed to win the game against which team, I guess, from the comeback. Yes, the this Crystal Palace. They managed to win against Crystal Palace, and they're making comeback. So the main thing that is the difference between in Chelsea is that and other clubs is that the mentality. You need that kind of players who bring in that mentality, and definitely, if I'll agree with you in the Ronaldo situation that if you need a striker, you should go for Ronaldo. Although he'll bring baggage of kind of a luggage of criticism and everything, kind of media fans and everything, but definitely he'll add that mentality on your team of winning, of getting comebacks. So definitely those players are essentially needed in this Chelsea squad to just fill that void of comebacks, and definitely this should happen very much, and it's essential for them.
Absolutely. And I think Bilal Bhai, as you said, I think it's just not to do with City. I can understand that City are a much stronger team. But the problem is, what I do expect Bilal Bhai, and I do hope the chat agrees, is when you go 1-0 down, you start putting intensity, you start winning the balls, you start hitting shots, you start putting crosses into the box, at least some intensity, at least after 80th minute at least. But after 80th minute, we were passing the ball back to Mendy. That's how bad we were, people. Now, the next part of the news, people, this is about Chelsea have offered 18 million season net salary to Frankie de Jong. That was yesterday from reliable Barca source Gerard Romero. People, this could be a massive news, but that is also a big, big wage structure to play. So before I give my opinion, I want to take the opinion of a neutral Bilal Bhai, because I might be biased, but Bilal Bhai might not. So Bilal Bhai, is that salary worth, and is Frankie de Jong a better one for Chelsea to sign, or can we go for a cheaper option in Tielemans for 20 million? Or are these wages absolutely astronomical?
Definitely, these wages are eye catching. It's humongous. It's enormous. These wages are very much, and Frankie De Jong, I'll definitely say he's not that worth of kind of this salary, and his salary in this season is increased because of the previous contracts made by the Barthamo era. That is why his salary has been increased in this year as well. But definitely is not that worth. He's a very good player. He'll definitely add a lot in your team. He'll upgrade your team in the midfield. But definitely the salary is the issue. It's the main issue, and you should not pay him. It's very much. And definitely, I was reading an article in Yuri Elements. He's available, and definitely they'll be selling. Leicester City have planned to sell, are prepared to sell Yuri Elements on the deadline day if an offer comes, like 20 to 25 million offer comes, and definitely they'll let him go. So Unit Elements is much more of a realistic option at the moment. I should think so. Although Frankie De Jong and Unit Elements are way much different, but definitely Unit Elements will also add much in your team. He's a PL experienced. He's very good. He's young, 24, 25, I guess. So definitely. In expense to Frankie De Jong, you should go for Yuri Elements at the moment. Although if Frankie De Jong wants to come in your team, then definitely you should go for him. That's the case.
I think Bilal, you put it very, very well. That in humble opinion, Frankie De Jong is a player we just cannot reject right now. We need Frankie De Jong, and Bhargav, I think he's taking the mick out of Chelsea. So big up to Bhargav Bhai as well. But yes, I think our good form continues. I think I'm taking you taking a mick out of it. But Bhargav Bhai, the good times of the club always come. And I can tell you, in next 5 or 6 weeks, the talks might be different. So I think banter might be different. But I love these things, people. Rivals should have a banter, and we should enjoy it in the best way. So big up to Baba Bhai, and best of luck for his team's match today in Arsenal versus Villa as well. So in my humble opinion, people, I think Frankie De Jong is a fantastic signing. Yes, the wages are high, but it's not me paying. It's not going out of my pocket. And people, I'm being very, very honest. Chelsea do need a midfielder. Frankie De Jong is a proper midfielder, a very talented youngster, 25-year-old, can only get better. And Yuri Tielemans for me will just not suit our system. But yes, if Chelsea go for him, I have no problem. But my number one choice is and will always remain Frankie De Jong. And I think if Chelsea go for Frankie De Jong, that means in the future we are going for Rice. And in future, Chelsea might go for a De Jong Rice midfield. That's the only reason I can see people for us going for Frankie De Jong. So the next news, people, is regarding, I think, the same. Frankie De Jong may decide to accept Chelsea's offer. They are now offering a big salary, which I discussed with you earlier as well. And now going to the next news, people. Chelsea are in advanced talks with RB Leipzig to sign Josko Guardiola. Deal would be completed now, but he's staying and will join in 2023. 90 million bid submitted today. Negotiations ongoing. This is as per the very reliable Fabrizio Romano. Your opinion before I give my opinion, Bilal, because you have to go in 5 minutes. What's your opinion, Bilal, on this deal, and how do you think it's a good deal by Chelsea or another wrong decision?
It's a good deal, but the price tag which I'm reading right now, 90 million is way much. It's way much for a Bundesliga player. You have already paid that for. You have already got Timo Werner in your team of RB Leipzig. I
I think
definitely don't
Werner was
want.
50 and Havertz was 72.
Definitely. So I I don't think so. You're bringing a Bundesliga player, and definitely I hope that this situation doesn't comes like of Timo Werner, which happened. And definitely he'll be a good addition in your team. He'll be a very good addition. But if he came in this as early as in this season, in this transfer window, it would have been way much better. But for the long term, it would be good. It would be very much exciting to watch him, and definitely Chelsea are going for good Wesley Fofana youngsters. They are going for youngsters, so definitely it's pretty good for Chelsea, and we might see Chelsea grow very much higher in the future as well.
Absolutely correct, people. People, I've been telling you for a long time as well that sometimes you have to plan for the future as well. If Chelsea will have properly run club, we plan for the future. Chelsea will have Chunemi right now and not Real Madrid. Chelsea had the chance to sign Chunemi, but the Chelsea people said that he's not ready to be in the Premier League and let's sign him next year. What happened? Real Madrid came, it's over. If only we sign Chunemi and send him back on loan, you never know, he would have been our player as well. So people, sometimes it's important to sign a player who is going to be the next superstar. Guardiola is Tuchel's choice. He's a fantastic defender. People have to also remember that Koulibaly is a short-term solution. Aspilicueta has only max to max 1 year more. Thiago Silva will leave in 1 year as well. Chelsea need to build the back line, and it looks like we are building that with Guardiola, Fofana, Cucurella. Then we've got Chalobah. We've also got Colvin on loan. I think Chelsea have a great back line in the future as well, people. So now going on the next news, people. And that news is regarding Timi Bakayoko. So that only I will cover. And I think I'll ask the last question to Bilal Bhai before he leaves. To Timi Bakayoko is on the verge of terminating both his loan and AC Milan contract at Chelsea. People, we signed Timi Bakayoko from Monaco when they had Bernardo Silva, Fabinho. So it was an absolute disaster. I will still say one thing. I have nothing bad in my heart for Bakayoko. I love him. I respect him. I think the problem is Bakayoko was not such a bad player. Bilal Bhai, can you please mute it? And people, I will just say one thing. In Timi Bakayoko's case, the only thing I will say is it was not his fault. Antonio Conte rushed him to sign to play for Chelsea because Chelsea had injury after injury. He was just not ready. Just once he got a Watford match, confidence broken. He never recovered in his career. Yes, he was never good enough, but he was never that bad that how it time went. I have nothing but best of wishes for him. I think it was best he leaves now. He was not even remembered at Chelsea. Everybody forgotten about him. It's better he moves in his career and ends it well. And the same way, Chelsea also got a player out of the books, which is not even a part of their future. So now taking a bit of question, is it true Chelsea have 800 million in free cash? No. That is not. I think what Bhagavai, the thing with Chelsea is that Todd Bowley promised Roman Abramovich that he will put 1.7 billion into the club. That will include stadium and transfer revenues. So even if this 800 million, it will be in 3-year time, 4-year time, not in 1 year. I think that's not going to happen. But yes, Chelsea are trying for Nkunku next year, and Guardiola might be coming, and even a Rafael Leao might be coming. So Chelsea are building a new striker line for the future as well. And the next news, and Ethan and Purdue will be travel to Italy, and I'll take this news later. I'll just let Bilal Bhai go and take a bit of question on him here. And now, Bilal Bhai, you know that Christopher Nkunku from RB Leipzig, though I'm told, is a real priority target for Chelsea next summer. Todd Bowley has already held meetings for Nkunku to sign for Chelsea next summer. So what's your opinion on Nkunku, and do you think he can be a great player for Chelsea?
First of all, Christopher Nkunku is a brilliant player, and he'll be a very good addition to Chelsea. I want him to come to Real Madrid because Real Madrid might also go for him for either Jude Bellingham or Christopher Nkunku. Both of them will have to be involved in the bidding war with either Chelsea or Liverpool for either of the players. So definitely for you, as for your perspective, it's for Chelsea's perspective, it's brilliant. It's a good deal, and Christopher Nkunku will add that much of experience upgradation in your side. He'll be young, he'll be very much, but the price tag will be higher because he has already signed a new contract, I guess, in this season as well. So definitely his price will be higher, and you'll have to go.
No. He has a release clause now next year, so
Acha,
most probably it will be
60 million,
70
I
to
guess, na?
75 million. Yes, 60 to
हाँ
70.
सही है. But you need to go for the opposition with Real Madrid. So that's the big case. If Real goes for Christopher Nkunku, I might be seeing him landing in Real Madrid because Real Madrid Barcelona school. It's very much higher. So just pray for it that Real Madrid might not be involved. But I don't think so. Real will be going that much for Christopher Nkunku because we need to go for a player like Jude Bellingham in our squad. So definitely, let's see what happens. But he'll be a good upgradation in your squad, definitely.
So thank you, Bilal Bhai. So people, Bilal Bhai has to leave. Please, people, do subscribe to his channel, RMA and MUFC Ultras. I will put the link in the description just after the video ends. Please subscribe to his channel. Thank you so much, Bilal Bhai, to be here, and big up to you. Thank you so much,
Thank
Bilal
you so
Bhai.
much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Absolute pleasure, Bilal Bhai. So people, now going on to the next news here, people. And the next news is regarding Sky Italia reporting Spezia are close to reaching an agreement with Chelsea over a loan deal for Ethan and Purdue with an option to buy. I think I'll take this later. I just missed some news, people, so I'll go back to that. I think this is regarding Ethan and Purdue. This is here. So this is by more reliable Fabrizio Romano. So Fabrizio Romano has said that Ethan and Purdue will travel to Italy on Thursday to complete his move to Spezia. It's a straight loan, no option to buy. People, that's a very, very good news. People, that is a very, very good news because this is a very talented youngster Chelsea have got in their hands. He's a very good player. He's a player who does not get the hype. Everybody keeps talking about Howie Whale. Everybody keeps talking about Billy Gilmer. But nobody gives a love. Nobody gives a respect to Ethan Ampadu. Ethan Ampadu can play in multiple positions. Right back, centre back, CDM, CM. He's such a good player. And a player I don't know why Chelsea have not kept. But now with Chalobah staying, I think it's more clear that Ethan Ampadu will be allowed to leave and develop at Spezia, and Chelsea can go with different solutions. But also, it's no option to buy, which means that he's really really rated highly, and he might have a place at Chelsea in future. So big up to him, and I hope he has a very, very good loan, and he smashes it up there. Now, people, on Callum Hudson-Odoi, and Callum Hudson-Odoi has completed his move to Bayer Leverkusen. So Callum Hudson-Odoi has joined Bayer Leverkusen on a loan deal and with no option to buy at the moment, as we know. People, this is a good deal for him. Callum Hudson-Odoi is a player people I've always loved for a very long time. He's a player people I've always admired for a long time. I love this guy to absolute bits. He's a fantastic player. He's such a good talented guy. When he came at Chelsea in the Maurizio Sarri, that burst of pace, the way he made the toast out of Hector Bellerin was a sight people I can never forget. I love him to absolute bits, people. He's such a good guy. He's talented as well. He's such a good footballer to watch on his day. But let's be brutally honest. In the last 1 year, when he suffered that injury against Burnley, he hasn't come back to the player we know. In the preseason, he wasn't able to even take on one player. He is not even trying to dribble. He has that brilliance in between. But people, Chelsea have lost the Callum Hudson-Odoi we always loved, we always admired. I love people, Callum Hudson-Odoi to absolute bits. I wish him the best. And people, this is a very, very good loan deal for him. He can go to Bayer Leverkusen, he can develop himself, and he can come back to Chelsea as a better player. But right now, has messages showed a lot of promise under Maurizio Sarri. That burst of pace is gone. That injury has spoiled such a good player for Chelsea. And now it was better for both parties to part ways, allow him to get more game time, show his credentials. If he comes back a better player, it's a bonus for us. If he doesn't come as a better player, we sell him. But overall, I hope he has a great loan spell and he makes it at Chelsea. But if not, then best of luck to him, whatever he does, people. Now, on the next news, people, this is regarding what I want to see against West Ham. People, I've been very frustrated with what I've seen so far of this team. People, I was absolutely gobsmacked at the absolute BS we saw against Southampton. It was absolutely horrific, people. I lost my voice. I was absolutely sad and disappointed. People who subscribe to this channel will watch my post-match reaction. And I was absolutely broken, guys. And you can see in this lineup, people, this is the lineup I want us to play against West Ham. People, we need to show some of these players that their place in team is not guaranteed. Chelsea is a big institution. And if you do not play for this institution with your heart, your desire, you are easily replaceable. I think people, Chelsea have to send a bit of statement to these players. These players are getting overly complacent. They think everything will run through them. And Chelsea need to get them back on track to show them that who is the boss here. For me, Fofana has to come in. He will be registered. And Fofana has to play the first game. And I love Cesar Azpilicueta, but people, he's not a starter for us right now. I think Koulibaly will play at the left. Silva will play in the middle. And I think people, on merit, Kepa deserves a chance. I think it's not Kepa being better than Mendy. Mendy is 100 times a better keeper than Kepa. But people, Mendy has to be shown that this is Chelsea Football Club and you cannot get complacent. I think people, Edward Mendy has no danger on his place. And this is why people, he's getting complacent. He's not improving on the mistakes. He's making the same mistakes he makes at near post, sweeping abilities. People, we need to show Edward Mendy. I think Thomas Tuchel needs to show Edward Mendy that this is Chelsea Football Club. And if you don't play at the level that's required, you are replaceable. And by the way, I love Edward Mendy, people. And going through the middle, Kovacic has to play this game. There's no excuse with Jorginho. And then for me, people, as much as I love Cucurella, I think Cucurella attackingly does not provide us what Chilwell can do. And I think we are overplaying Cucurella as well. He's just a new signing. So Chilwell has to come in for me. James has to come in for me as well and play at his rightful position and not the right centre back. Then people, Aubameyang is not going to happen, which is sad. Aubameyang deal is off. So I will love to see Pulisic up there. And then I will love to see Sterling and Broha up front. Because Broha, yeah, I'm so sorry, sir. This lineup, I put this lineup yesterday. This all presentation, people, I made yesterday as well. So I'm so sorry I was not able to edit it. I'm very, very sorry. Aubameyang deal to Chelsea is off. And even if it comes, he's out for 3 weeks. So I will put a Pulisic up there with a Sterling and Broha. Because I think some statements have to be made to these players to show them who is the boss as well. Now, people, going towards this news as well. The news is coming out that Chelsea are in talks to sign Rafael Leao. Now, people, we are very unsure whether this is about this summer or next summer because people, Rafael Leao has some big dangers to his signing. Rafael Leao still owes money to his first club, so Chelsea will have to pay that money. Along with that, his first club also has a resale clause which AC Milan will have to pay. So this is why AC Milan bought Chelsea to pay the extra 15% so they can cover that by them. Now, again and again, thank you so much, sir. I made a mistake. I'm so sorry for that. And people, I will say just one thing on Rafael Leao. Rafael Leao, again, in a simple way, people, Rafael Leao's terminated his contract with Sporting CP where he owes them 16 million pounds. So Chelsea have to pay 16 million to Sporting, people. That's the number one thing. Number second thing, the first club of Rafael Leao put a resale clause in him which AC Milan will have to pay when he's sold. So let's say AC Milan sell him for 100 million. So AC Milan will only get 85 million of the pie, and 15 million the pie will go to the other club as well. So AC Milan want Chelsea to cover that 15 million, and Rafael Leao wants Chelsea to cover the 16 million release clause. He terminated his contract with Sporting CP. So Chelsea might literally have to pay 130 million to sell Leao. Now, is it possible this window? I don't think so. Next window, it might be. But again, people, until Fabrizio makes a news, I'm not going to be sure of that. I'm very, very sorry, but Fabrizio is the love. Fabrizio is everything for me, people. I love Fabrizio, and I think Fabrizio news is the one I'm waiting for before I highlight it in a much better way, people. And going on Anthony Gordon, people. So I think it looks like the deal is off. Final fee in Wesley Fofana from Leicester to Chelsea deal understood to be 69.5 million fixed, no add-ons. Also believe that Chelsea FC value Anthony Gordon no higher than 40 million, so have no interest in going beyond that for the Everton attacker. So people, with Wesley Fofana, is Wesley Fofana cheap? No, he's not cheap. But you have to understand today's market is like that, and you have to pay the highest price to get the best players. Now, people, being very, very honest, I think people, I will say one thing, that 69 million is much better price than 80, and at least he's not the most expensive defender in the world. And on Anthony Gordon, I think finally some sense has prevailed. I respect Gordon, I respect my manager, and if he wants Gordon, I will love him to have. But above 60 million for Gordon would have been insane, and I think 40 million is the right price for him, and it does look like a deal could be off. And with Frank Lampard also saying that he won't allow that to happen, it does look like people the deal might be off as well. And on the final news today, people, Wesley Fofana is a Chelsea player, and Wesley Fofana has given a very good interview where he said, I love this club, it's my dream. On the pitch, I will give everything for the club, for the fans. So people, all the news I've covered for you today. People watching, it doesn't take much. Please hit the like button, please hit the subscribe button, please support the channel. And on the last note, people, I hope you have a great day. Everyone, I wish you the best and hope you all people have a great day. Thank you so much, people. Love you.